Greetings everybody. We're going to go ahead and make a second video here as a tutorial for people to get onto the MilSim server and using the add-on sync program. We've had some updates, so there's been some minor changes, so I'm just going to make a video starting from the beginning. So the first thing we need to do is download ArmA3Sync, and we can go there by Google searching ArmA3Sync. And it'll bring us to the ArmAholic page and drop down to the bottom, and we're going to go ahead and download this add-on. So once it's downloaded, go ahead and start the program up. When it initially starts, it's going to ask for your ArmA 3 location. For most people, it's going to be in Program Files or Program Files 86, Steam, SteamApps, Common, ArmA 3. And then you just need to select that, and the program will go ahead and start up. First thing we're going to go to, we have some tabs up here at the top. We're going to go to add-on options. We're going to make sure that the location of the folder is in the correct place on the program itself. Just double check that, it never hurts. We're going to go ahead and click on the last tab here, repositories, and we're going to click the blue plus symbol for add a new repository. It's going to bring up some boxes here. You only have to fill out a couple of things. Repository name, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call mine ML the host or URL. I'll also make sure this is posted in the comments. It's going to be 192.99.167.225. So we're going to go ahead and go to this page here and paste this. The login is going to be anonymous, no password, port 21. It's kind of derping out here a little bit. And then we're just going to hit OK. And it's going to check the repository, which is a good thing that it sees the repository. So we're going to left click to highlight it and connect to repository, this button down here. Left click on that, it's connecting to the repository. And now that we're connected, we're going to click the check mark here. And what this is going to do, I already have most of the mods downloaded. I did delete some things to show you the difference between what you don't have, what's been updated, and what you do have. So you see that some of my stuff is still here. So hitting that check mark, it's going to check my files versus what's been what I've updated to the repository itself. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're checking my add-ons on my computer, and we're checking the add-ons on the repository itself. Now, this is something we encourage that you check on a regular basis, as updates can be posted out anytime, especially now while the map is the mission's still being worked on. So we've added some new stuff here from the old video, like we didn't have the mill editor, the missions, or the TeamSpeak client plugins. CBA was on the old one, but again, I just wanted to delete it to show you. So you see that I have these folders here. So what we're going to do is put checkboxes here, the exclamation marks, because we're going to need to download these. And we're going to hit the start button, and it's going to start downloading them, and it's putting them where it needs to go. Now we have the CBA here. We have, I don't know exactly what it's working on right this second, but just give it a moment. It's going to finish. Now the speed is capped at approximately 1 megabyte per second download speed. So that can vary, that can go down a little bit depending on the size of the files it's downloading. If it's downloading a larger file size, then yeah, you'll get upwards of 1 megabyte a second. These little smaller files, it'll stay slower, but it'll just keep burning through these files to download them. The download speed is not something I can control. It's something through ArmA3Sync, unfortunately. However, it'll allow multiple people to download at the same time without affecting the server that it sits on. This is just about complete. Download is finished, and it's just going to recheck it to verify it. And now we have everything up to date, and then the status will say okay. If there is a update, the status will be red, and it'll say, I think, update. And if that's the case, you're just gonna click on connect to repository again, and it'll bring you to this screen. Hit the check mark, and it'll tell you what you need to update, and you just put a tick in the box, and then click start, and it'll start the update. So it'll only update what's been changed or removed. If we remove mods, it'll delete it off your computer. If we add them, it'll add to it. So it is, it's important to be checking here. So as you can see, we have, this is again our ArmA 3 install location. These TeamSpeak client plugins, these are going to need to go into your TeamSpeak 3 client install folder, and I'll show you exactly where that needs to go. So we have over here just C drive, program files 86, TeamSpeak client, it's right here, and then we're going to go to the plugins folder, which is right here. Go back to the ArmA 3 install location. I'm going to go into the TeamSpeak clients, and then all we need to do is you can click and drag into the TeamSpeak plugins folder, or you can copy it and then paste, and it'll paste it all into there. Of course, I can't do it right now because I'm sitting on TeamSpeak. But that will put all the plugins into your TeamSpeak client. Once that's done, you'll need to restart your TeamSpeak. And then once restarted, you're going to go to Settings, Plugins, and you'll see Task Force Radio, Task Force ArmA 3 Radio. Put a tick inside that box, close it. You may or may not need to restart TeamSpeak. But once that's completed, you'll see right here on your client, Task Force Radio status connected. Other people that have it running, you can see they have the task force as well. People that don't have it running, obviously, there's no task force there. Make sure that your version is updated. We just had an individual who didn't have an updated client, and his wasn't working in game, and that's the reason why. So you need to make sure that that's done. So that takes care of TeamSpeak. Go ahead and minimize that, and we can go ahead and minimize that. Now, one of the new updates that we just installed on the server is preloading the virtual ammo system. It just helps things to run a heck of a lot faster. Oh, we need to back up. Before we do that, we need to create your custom command line. I forgot. I covered it in the other video, and I forgot I'm making a new video. So, what you need to do is go back to where you installed. There's like 3 ways you can do this. What I would suggest is going to where you install ArmA 3, finding your ArmA 3 shortcut, which is right here. Right click, send to desktop, create shortcut, and this will put an ArmA 3 shortcut on your desktop. Now what you'll need to do, you can rename that shortcut. I rename mine to ML Milsim. You just need to, important thing is right click on it, go to properties, and then the target line right here. So by default, the target line is going to have just this right here. the quotation, your file location, and armor3.exe end quotation, and that's it for the target line. We need to add the actual mod so that when you start your client, it'll actually run the mods needed to join the server. So you're gonna copy and paste. I'll put in the description at the video. You can just copy and paste. The dash mod equals at CBA_A3, and everything's cap sensitive if you type it in by hand. Semicolon space at sign, or correction, no space. I'm sorry. Semicolon at sign, mill editor. Semicolon at sign. So on, so on. Some people have been having problems joining because we just added this here, and the add-on sync only does so much for you. You do have to do some work on your end, so it's always important to know where your ArmA 3 install is located, because what we have here, these folders, need to be in your startup parameters so that you can join the server correctly. So even as it updates, check for new mod folders, because you'll need to add those. So we're going to go ahead and add this to our startup parameter line. I have some extra stuff in here: nosplash, world equals empty, enable hyperthreading, because I'm running a Pentium. People that are running AMD, you don't need to worry about this. You don't need to, you can assign threads. But yeah, so you're just gonna, go to the end of the quotation here. It's a heck of a lot easier. Alright, hit your space bar and then, Control V or paste, and it'll paste all that in there for you. When that's all said and done, you'll have a target line that has, all this stuff here. There's another way that this can be done. Some people also prefer this. This is something I would do if I'm not running multiple versions of ArmA 3. I mean that, like, if you join other servers that don't require add-ons, because you don't want to unnecessarily load add-ons into your ArmA 3. It'll just slow down your client just a little bit. But if you're just joining the milsim server with ArmA 3, this is a good way to do this. You're going to right-click on ArmA 3 in your library. You're going to go to Properties. And then you're going to go to Set Launch Options, which is under the General tab, which should pop up by default. And then you'll have this beautiful window here. You're going to take the mods, which is the dash mod equals blah, blah, blah. And again, this will be down in the description itself. And then just right click and paste. And that's it. And you're going to click OK. You can also add the no splash and the world empty and all that stuff as well if you want. Just make sure there's a space. What I mean is, after the mod here, after the end of the mods, make sure there's a space, and then a space, and so every time something new is added, make sure there's a space. Mods, no spaces; they stay jumbled up together. Sorry, I cannot talk straight today. So the launch options have been set. Hit OK, close. Now, when we click on play, it's going to load the mods for us. Because this is not what I do, I'm just going to, delete this here. Okay, so now that we have the startup line all set, can minimize that. We don't need that for ArmA3Sync anymore. So now we're going to go ahead and start our server. First, I'm going to disable Task Force Radio, because what's going to happen is on our TeamSpeak, when you have the plugin enabled and you're joining the server, and I just don't want this to happen accidentally, it'll move you to this task force radio room that's locked right now. The program does that automatically for you. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to do it now because we're just preloading, but just in case. I'm on you. Apparently it takes a second. So now you can see I'm not running my task force radio right now, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and start up ArmA 3. It'll probably show up in a small window on the recording here. And still loading add-ons. And those of you that play ArmA a lot, you'll notice that, the splash screen isn't there. I need to make sure that this is capturing here, so let me just check my program. Alright, good. I just want to make sure. Okay. So the first thing we need to do to preload the virtual ammo system. Now, this hasn't been confirmed that you need to do it every time you start ArmA or restart your computer. So we're just making a blanket statement for now. For now, we're going to say every time you want to join the server, we would suggest that you do this real quick. With the ArmA3Sync, it automatically downloaded this for you. You're going to click Play Scenarios, and then you have the virtual ammo box preload. You're going to let this program go ahead and load real quick. And there's questions of whether or not we should run a server just to do this, but there really is no point in that. We're running this single player, and that's all that's really required. So we're going to click continue once we're in the map there. Now it's really important that you allow it to completely run through its thing. It says starting the VASP process in the top right. Just going to wait. Alright, so once we finished, the screen that popped up says it's completed. Or apparently we're still loading it. Not quite sure what happened there. Let's try that again. Sometimes it's better to show when things mess up a little bit. That way, if it screws up for you, you know what it looks like. Alright, here we go. Preloader process, verifying. Now it should, there we go. That's what I was waiting for. So once it's completed, it should say, you know, this screen will pop up just like it is now. You're gonna click continue, and it should pop you back out into the menu. And that's it. That's all we have to do. So we click back, and then we can go into multiplayer, and then we can go to the server itself. So again, keep an eye for updates in the comments. If you want the IP import, just jump on TeamSpeak, talk with a staff member, or myself, Challenger, or Kofsky, or any of the other Spectre guys that play on this server, and they'll be able to hook you up. And that pretty much completes the tutorial. If there's any questions, you know, feel free to ask, feel free to drop comments, like the video. You can always email me or find us on TeamSpeak. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys. And thanks for watching.